Hello, welcome to the Happy Foodie. I'm Ptak of Violet Cakes in Hackney, London. And today we're going to make coffee cardamom walnut cakes. I've just taken these walnuts out of the oven where they were warming through. They're such a delicate nut. You don't want to toast them really, you just want to sort of warm them through, bring out the oils, and make all the flavor shine. I'm just going to chop them up a little bit. This is a coffee cardamom walnut cake, which is loosely based on the sort of classic tea room coffee walnut cake. But I just wanted to update it a little bit by adding the cardamom, which I think is really beautiful with coffee and walnuts actually. And we can get on with the dry ingredients. I've got the flour, and then we're going to do baking powder, 3/4 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. We've got the cardamom, obviously, which is a really important one. 3/4 cinnamon. With the cloves, it's just 1/8 teaspoon, because cloves are very strong, so you just want a little tiny bit. And then, of course, salt. The last spice is pink peppercorns, which I love pink peppercorns. I think they have a wonderful flavor, and they're also pink, which is lovely. The smell just comes out when you start pounding them. It's wonderful. Right, so we're just going to pull these lovely crushed pink peppercorns out of the mortar and add them into the rest of the spices. You can just really mix things nicely together like this and go ahead with the creaming of the butter and the sugar. Now we've got a nice soft block of butter, which will just give you a much lighter, fluffier cake. So now we add our caster sugar to our soft butter. And I use a stand mixer. I love a stand mixer. You could, of course, use a handheld electric whisk, or even a wooden spoon would work well. So we're going to turn this on. It will start to become really pale and fluffy, almost white in color, and that's what we're going for. I'm going to add 1 egg at a time while I mix. Let's add our second egg. Now I'm going to add my vanilla, and then we'll add our dry ingredients, which we've whisked together. You can smell all the spices in here, it's really beautiful. So just pop the whole thing in, like that. So this is when you really don't want to overmix. If you add the flour to the wet, the gluten starts to form. So this is when you just want to mix it until it's just barely incorporated, and then you get a really lovely texture and crumb. So now that the flour is mixed in nicely to the butter, sugar, and eggs, we're going to add our walnuts. Give that a quick mix before adding the last ingredient, which is creme fraiche. So any kind of sweet cake just tastes good with a little bit of sour, I think. We just put that in there. Let's mix this once more. And that's really it. And you have this beautiful, fluffy, textured cake batter, which is really tempting to eat raw, I have to say. Looks like ice cream. So I have a muffin tin that I've brushed with some melted butter. And just grab a little bit and then use a second spoon to kind of carefully push it into the cake tin. It's really nice for them to be as even as possible. Now we're just going to put this into a 170-degree oven and bake it for 20 minutes. So I've got my lovely little baked cakes here, and they're nice and cool. And I'm just going to trim the little dome off the top. And that way, because we're going to flip them out and actually present them upside down, and that way they'll sit nice and flat. And don't forget, if you like this recipe, please subscribe to the Happy Foodie channel. You can flip these over. Now I've got my icing here, which is just icing sugar and strong coffee. You could use a shot of espresso. You could use instant coffee if you wanted to. I used a brewed coffee. I'm just going to take a little bit, about a tablespoon for each cake, and put it on the top there. What's really nice about an icing sugar icing is it will kind of drag itself down over the edges eventually. So it'll have a natural, kind of lovely pattern, and you can coax it a little bit if you want to. Great, smells so nice. I love these cakes. Now for the finishing touch, we're going to put the warmed walnuts, and you can either put them on whole in kind of a retro walnut whip style, or you can crumble them up and sprinkle them on top. And if you're making these at home and you want to take a picture and send it in, we'd love to see them. I really hope you like making these at home. I think they're really fun to make and really delicious to eat.